So, now, are we going to be playing a short video to get started?
At ICMS, you're more than just your ATAR. Our admissions process looks at you as a whole person and all your experience.
You get guided and mentored every step of the way with small class sizes and a really personal approach, so you'll never fall through the cracks.
I started my career a step ahead. I really felt that the team here focused on finding me the best experience that would set me up for my career.
Big enough to connect you, small enough to connect with you.
All right, back in business. So, you would have seen up there a few of our masterclasses, which I'm very, very passionate about. And we had Neil Perry about a year ago, Alex Perry. We had the head of Mardi Gras about a month ago, which was really, really cool. Also celebrated fashion by wearing heels about that size. So I thought I was doing well today, but he knocked it out of the park. So today we're going to learn a little bit about what the fashion program is, what we try and do here, and why it's so different in the market. I've been working with the college now in this role for a couple of years, but I've been working with the college for nearly 15 years on and off as a lecturer. My background is retail strategy consulting, up through IBM, some major ad agencies, if you've worked in the marketing world. And I get to wake up every day and help people to make their businesses better. So that was the purpose of this degree. How do you create a successful fashion retail business? So we're going to be talking about some of the subjects that we cover. A lot of our students love to go into fashion marketing. They want to open up their own businesses. The beaches, we're known for entrepreneurship. In fact, fun fact, 61% of people in the northern beaches work from home. That might be a pain point for you if you had to return to work, I'm sorry. But we are very entrepreneurial on the peninsula. And fashion allows you to do that. So if we start talking, and apologies to those watching online, I know the slides might not be as clear, but you're always welcome to contact me and ask for some questions. So we do have a suite of undergraduate degrees. The beauty of this is, and as you're exploring the college, is we have core business units that run through all of them. Okay, and we'll get to that in a moment. So you'll be able to learn about the basics of marketing, the basics of accounting. How do I set up a business? What about cultural management? Stuff that's really important and is often the reason that 80% of fashion businesses fail, because you have these wonderful creative minds, but they don't know actually how to make a business work, which is the important side. Okay, I come from a long history of people that run their own businesses. My uncle worked at Tarakash for 25 years and has just launched a very successful business that he's grown to $4 million in 2 years. He's never sewn an item. Okay, that's what this degree is framed around. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about the fashion component. But our key thing here is we are obsessed with industry and we're obsessed with career. Okay, I apologize, I am not sick. It is week 12, and it's a good thing I don't make my money out of speaking anymore, because our voices go, because we're so, I've been at lots of industry events this week, and networking. We're going to talk about networking at the masterclass at the end of today. You've got to talk and talk and talk until you lose your voice. But we're obsessed with industry. In fact, at our last graduation, it was 98%, which wasn't too bad, but we are perfectionists. Where 100% of our students were employed at graduation this year, which is pretty outstanding. And when you start asking students, what are they doing? 50% of them are still in the jobs they did their placement in. And the kind of placements that we're focused on, especially in the fashion, is looking at established businesses, luxury businesses, brands like we've got Aj, Iconic, David Jones, Dior, which is incredible, Fendi, just to name a few. Okay, and if there's a particular brand you're passionate about, bring it. And the World team will talk more about that later. So we're obsessed with career and industry. That is our primary focus. You do your industry placement after completing your first couple of trimesters with us. Oh, thank you, Dylan. Oh, the slides are working. Thank you, Richard. See, it's worthwhile being high maintenance sometimes. So you do your placement after your first year. We'll get into that in a second. But even from day one, we incorporate industry into all our assessments. Now, what does that mean? Well, for instance, in FBM 101A, which is your very first fashion unit, we take our students to David Jones. You're briefed by the buying and product team. Wendy, who owns a store in the city, which is magnificent if you haven't been. And then you do your assignment on David Jones. And you present back, the top couple present back to DJs and build a relationship with them. That's what we mean by industry from day one. Okay? Even in accounting, you can do an accounting assessment focused on your industry. All right. So who are you? Who's fashion obsessed? Yeah? Come on. Kat's fashion obsessed. All right? We're matching again. Kat and I have a habit. Every time we dress, we both wear the same color. It's ridiculous. So you need to be fashion obsessed or retail obsessed, right? Love the drive of it. I'm obsessed with retail. I come from a marketing background. But I love the idea that you get to create brand experiences for people that are physical, okay? And you get to tell people that you do a cool job. When I tell people I head up fashion, it's like, that's a cool job to do. We're also very interested in brands and branding. Now, marketing and fashion go hand in hand. I also run the marketing programs, and I work with Janine on the events programs. We run subjects like social media content creation and advanced social media because it helps you, and e-commerce. It helps you build good brands. So you've got to really love branding and the psychology. Consumer behavior is one of my favorite subjects. All right? Are you strategic and future focused? So I don't joke when I say my fashion students are high achievers. Quite often, it's the fashion students that are the ones, like Angelica, that are representing our college. And other scholarship winners. So apply for scholarship. Jack will talk more about that in a moment. But apply for scholarship, they tend to be the students that are very future focused, very strategic, quite driven. All right? So you're surrounded by a cohort that are really passionate about their industry and workforce. And creative but analytical. Now this sounds, who likes maths? Couple of you? Yeah, come on. Who wants to be creative? Good. This is a nice balance, right? I've always described myself as I'm the most creative in a room full of business people, but I'm the most business in a room full of creatives, okay? And my partner works in the design industry, and I walk in and I'm like, no, I'm definitely the most business in this room. This is the kind of degree built for those people, all right? You want to be creative, you want to have passion, but equally, you know that business is a safe degree to get a job. So your future career, what do? We have lots of students that want to start their own business. In fact, I met with a couple of students about 3 weeks ago as a mentor, helping them start their business. They have graduated. And that is something that I take a lot of pride in, and your lecturers and PMs do. We do have a lot of touch points with our students, and we try and help them grow and facilitate their passions. Okay, that's why I have been a lecturer here for so many years and a PM for a couple, because I love that we still connect with our students. So you might want to start your own business. Awesome, right? Come and chat to me. You might want to be a fashion buyer. So our fashion and buyer lecturer is a buyer and planner at the Iconic. Most of our lecturers are working in some capacity, okay? You might want to manage a brand, but you want to do it at Dior. Awesome. We learn about brand strategy management and global brand management. Maybe you love marketing, you love the creative, but you also love fashion and you love retail. Or maybe you come from a family business and you understand that retail, that adrenaline rush of it. Then you can look at marketing strategy and operations. We do talk about supply chain, e-commerce, and all that kind of stuff as well. And of course, what would a fashion degree be without some creativity? We do subjects like creative direction and design. We do workshops in textiles. We are incorporating more and more of that as there's an appetite for it. We do visual merchandising. Eva runs her own interior and store design company, so she's constantly showing examples of what she's doing. And we do digital marketing or marketing manager. So just because you decide to do fashion doesn't mean you can't get jobs in marketing. And I know marketing is one of the top employability areas, especially if you go on Seek. So it's a nice balance, but you're a little bit different. It's like doing entrepreneurship if you want to do business. You're a little bit unique and interesting. We have lots of flexible learning, especially with fashion. So you can study in our beautiful castle. It is a beautiful castle. Or you can study in the city as well. Okay, we run different classes there. And we have a lot of subjects that run online. Now, especially with my fashion students, you do tend to get work, and I understand that. So we do run quite a few subjects online to facilitate that. And you can do your entire degree online if you chose to. All right? Of course, it's always better. Now, this is something really, really close to my heart. Who knows who Alex Perry is? A few? Good, good. All right? Well, he's dressed the Kardashians, I hope so. So we run masterclasses here. And this is something that Kat and I founded about 18 months ago, maybe 18 months ago. Huge passion project of mine. And it's part of something we call the Professional Development Lab. And the Professional Development Lab is about getting you employability skills. So for instance, you have to do an accounting subject. You're freaking out. We run workshops in Excel so that you feel more comfortable. We just did an event styling workshop. So it's not part of your course, but you get to learn how to do flowers and how to make an event that little extra something. We do fashion textile workshops where you learn the basics of sewing. Many of you are who's doing design at the moment? A couple of you, yeah? So you learn some of the basics of that, what fabric is, the lingo. So we run these masterclasses. We run about 2 a trimester. They are free. We open them to the public, and we get some pretty incredible speakers. So we had the guy that's bringing back Sydney, the 24-hour commissioner, 3 weeks ago now, talking about how he's reviving Sydney. So we get some pretty A-class people presenting. We also have industry excursions and panel events. So we have lots and lots of panels. We ran a diversity panel recently. We're doing a woman in business panel next trimester. You are more than welcome to come, by the way, to these. They are open to the public. So if you want to get a taste and you're like, all right, still thinking, our Women in Business panel and our Mindful Leadership panel will be next trimester. So we run lots of these and we do lots of excursions, and that's because we have small classrooms. So we can take students on excursions. Now, to the nitty-gritty stuff. Okay, who's in year 12? Good. Who's in year 11? Good. Overachievers, love it. You're perfect for this degree. It's great. Bachelor degrees, it's 3 years, or technically it's 2.7. And the way it works is we have a trimester model. Okay, so you have ideally 4 subjects per trimester, and then by the end of your first year, you're ready for your industry placement. So the way it works is in your first year, no, got to go back. There we go. In your first year, you'll start out, if you're starting next February, and you'll do some core foundational subjects. Now, you might decide, I love fashion, so you'll do Introduction to Fashion with Peter Wilson, who runs his own fashion consultancy business. Very smart man. So you'll do that, and you'll progress into trimester 2, where you'll do your specialist subjects, styling and creative direction. But you'll also be doing your core business subjects as you go. And it's okay if you're not sure what you want to do. That's okay, right? I'm nearly 40. I'm still working it out. That's the joy of life. But the beauty of this is that you get to do your core subjects, and then if you decide, actually I want to do more marketing, or maybe I want to do more events, you can, all right? Or you can bring them in as electives. So that's year 1. Then we move on to year 2, and typically, now you don't absolutely have to do it in this time frame. Sometimes opportunities come up at different times, but you'll do your industry placement. And like I said, our industry partners are growing, but we have ongoing placements at Dior, Fendi, David Jones. We've just placed on the iconic Aj, and so on and so forth. Okay? So you do your industry placement. You can study 1 subject during that if you are performing okay, so over a credit average. If you really want to fast track, but I'd say embrace it. And then you come back and you get to do a few more subjects and you can start doing some electives. And the kind of electives that we'd recommend for the fashion, we have lots of electives here, but the kind of stuff we recommend is looking at the events and marketing pathways. Hospitality is also a great skill to have. The college was founded on hospitality because it's that service mindset, and it teaches you how to present yourself well, okay? So some of the stuff, my particular favorites are like guerrilla marketing or entrepreneurial business, because it helps you set up a business, but you can do anything you like. In fact, we just had a function here last week with food and beverage service where we held an event downstairs, and we had all the students learning how to run an event, which was really exciting. Any questions so far? Sucking it in. I know I've passed my 3-minute attention span. I apologize. All right, professional placement. Why do we love it? It is because it teaches you how to be in the workplace, okay? So it's not just about how you dress, and I know everyone always says to me, why do I have to wear a suit at ICMS? It's because it makes you think differently. If you're in the room and you're dressed appropriately, you are thinking differently, you're presenting yourself differently, you're holding yourself differently, okay? And when you start doing your professional placement, you learn from day one on what are your strengths. So we use something called Gallup. If I've got any marketers in the room or any coaches, you might know what Gallup is. So Gallup helps you identify what are your strengths from day one. And then we work on you to develop your portfolio from there. Okay, all the way to our final subject, which is capstone, where you're doing a community project, and you're like, what are my strengths? How do I contribute to a team? So you know yourself quite early. In terms of industry, I've talked quite a lot about this, but we have lots and lots and lots of different partners, and we will be doing a masterclass with 3 of them after this session, I think. And the reason they work with us, I mean, you can find out more later, but the reason they work with us is because we are obsessed with creating industry-ready graduates, okay? Our goal is to get you a job you love. It's not just to get you a piece of paper. Now, what do we do when we're looking at your 3rd year? So your 3rd year, you're probably working at this point. Most of our students are. So we do have a lot more stuff online as a result. But you get to pick 4 electives, okay? You'll also be doing visual merchandising and supply chain. Mo is a supply chain expert. He works for a large consultancy and then does this as a passion project. But the kind of electives you can look at, e-commerce, obviously very, very important. Fashion sustainability. A few of my favorites, advanced social content creation and advanced social media. Very, very, very important, right? It's not just about Facebook anymore or TikTok. It's about creating an entire brand and so on and so forth. Our most popular, I think, is project management or blogging your way to fame, but there's a lot to pick from, okay? So you really have breadth, and you can pick a 300 level subject from anything. So if you suddenly decide, I'm in love with hospitality, and it happens, right? Hospitality, believe it or not, is very closely linked to luxury fashion. You might decide, that's what I want to do. I'm going to do all my electives in that subject. And quite often, students will pick an elective stream and then want to do a double degree, because then they get it both on their testament. All right, so a few last things. So first off, how to apply. I would recommend go and see Doug at the top of the stairs and talk to him about how to apply. Do you need an ATAR? No, but there are some requirements when it comes to what subjects you are studying, whether you can start the diploma or the degree. But we look at you as a student. We don't look at you as a number. It sounds like a marketing pitch, but it is true. It is true. Apply for early entry. If you were here for this morning's session, apply for early entry, okay? It's worthwhile, and apply for scholarship as well. And there's also lots of other things going on, which a few of the team are around to discuss with you. There we go. Application desk. Like I said, it's just at the top of the stairs. And make sure if you are applying for those scholarships, okay, get it in early. Angelica will touch on the importance of that in a moment. But overall, why do we love this fashion degree? It is quite unique in the market. Most of the kind of fashion business things you see in the market are diplomas. They're not degrees. Our industry partners helped us design them. And it is business focus, but someone that wants to be creative, okay? Because they don't just want to do economics and accounting. So it's quite special, and we're very proud of it. All right. Any questions before I hand over to Angelica? Yes.
How many students are in each year of the degree?
So fashion, we had about 46 starting last February.
And how many scholarships do you give?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll have to check for you. Yes, but we can talk after. I'll have to check for you. We do have our scholarship ceremony takes about 2.5 hours every term, so there's a decent amount. Yeah.
Does the degree qualify for X?
Yeah, so there is a fee help program, but go have a chat to Doug and they can help you out on that one. Good. Yes.
The industry experience international, can you go overseas?
We do have some international partnerships. For instance, Disney is one of our international partners and is growing. I know it's a big interest area. What we do recommend is thinking about if you want to spend your visa on that, or if you want to spend it on a local good provider, and then using that full year or two overseas. Okay. All right, I might introduce Angelica and then we'll do some more Q&A at the end. So Angelica is one of our star fashion students, and she'll talk to you a bit.
So my name's Angelica and I graduated 2022. I went to Innerborough, which is like in Sydney South. And yeah, so far I have done the David Jones excursion, and you literally go into the bridal suite. They have it all set up for you. You meet the head buyer and you take notes, and it really challenges you to actually think about what you're listening to and how to apply that critically. So yeah, we had that. And then we also had the opportunity to volunteer at Fashion Week. And we got to do 2 or 3 days getting to know the backworks of fashion events and how all of that works. And originally I came into this course not really knowing what I wanted to do. So I started off wanting to go to UCID to do psychology, and my mum's a psychologist, so I've always had that path kind of mapped out for me. But then I thought, where are my passions? What do I look at? Like on Instagram, on TikTok, I'm always looking at brands. I'm looking at how brands reach their customers. And yeah, then I applied to ICMS. I went through the leadership entry application. So I did cadets in high school, so I was able to use that as my leadership. But if you do any SRC or even just volunteering around your community, you can do the leadership entry. And then my scholarship, I applied for a scholarship, was lucky enough to receive a scholarship, and that was honestly game changing because now that money can be used for my internship to actually take me overseas rather than just staying here. So definitely apply for the scholarships. And yeah, just last week there was a Dior volunteering opportunity where we got to work at their pop-up store in Woodamaloo, and we got to meet all the head merchandisers, and I added her on LinkedIn, and now I'm getting to know her as well. So little things like that, the networking that happens when you volunteer at these events is so critical to your fashion journey. But yeah, so far my favourite subject has been the retail theory subject, because our whole class went to David Jones, and that's such a nice bonding moment with like all of your peers really doing practical things together rather than just sitting in a class. And the fashion students go through all of their classes together. So you'll be in an accounting class with the people you were in fashion with. That does kind of change the further you go along, but in your first year I found most of my classes I have with the same people in my fashion class. So it's easier to make friends. And yeah, next year I'm planning to go to Milan Fashion Week or something around that and do my placement there, which is really, really exciting. And I would definitely recommend this course to anyone that maybe does like that little bit of practical aspect or extra help to their courses, because I had dyslexia, I do still have dyslexia, and being able to have the Student Success Centre to help me through that and pass all of my assignments and do really well is so helpful, especially in accounting or statistics when you need help checking the numbers just one more time. So yeah, it's been really, really great, and also having the opportunity to work in the marketing department, which stemmed through Open Day. I went to the scholarship ceremony, and Gigi, of Georgina Gain, who works in marketing, saw me and met my mum, and we got along really well, and then I was scouted to run the TikTok. So you just never know what's going to happen. Just always have a smile and take every opportunity you can get. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. A round of applause. It takes a lot of bravery. So I don't know if there's any further questions you want to direct at Angelica or myself about the fashion degree or anything that's niggling. Yes.
So similar courses that are run at other universities, how would you say this one
Sure. Well, look, we're very unique in the market. Most other degrees are heavily fashion-based, and that's how they've come. So the business plays a secondary role. And then, for example, some of the subjects that we run are quite unique. So about sizing market categories, the development of Excel skills, buying skills, that kind of thing. But our biggest differentiator here is our will placement. So we are very, very career and industry focused. We're actually up for a AFR employability award in the coming week, I think, because we try and prepare graduates to make sure they've got a job and it's a job they're passionate about by the time they end. Whereas you will find industry placement is a thing now in most degrees and that, but you're left to your own devices and you essentially hand in an assignment and you find your own placement for most of the part. Any other questions? Have I terrified everyone by saying this is the high achiever course? No, we really like to, as Jake was saying, it was funny, I didn't realize you were dyslexic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic as well, so there you go. Oh, yes.
How competitive is it? How many applications do you get versus how many spots you have?
Look, it's the second most popular degree. Sometimes we become the most popular, depends. I'm not competitive at all. My boss, Trevor, looks after sport and we kind of compete. So look, it is competitive, but go for the early entries, go for the scholarships. The reason that I'm here is because there was a gap in the market for people that knew how to do retail business. I had a marketing degree, this degree didn't exist before. So we're looking for people with that kind of appetite on, I want to create a business. I want to understand how to grow markets. I want to help business make money and be creative. So look, it's competitive, but it's worthwhile applying, and especially the early entry and scholarship stuff. Okay. Any other questions? Who wants to start their own business out of curiosity? Yeah, a few of you? Okay, good. We do run workshops in how to start your own business here as well for that purpose. Okay. Well, we're around. I'm going to be at the booth. We're going to be running a masterclass shortly as well. So if you've got any other questions, come and hit me up. And thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it.